Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hey folks, how are you? Brian Tremblay here with you with another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy Podcast. And today I have another wonderful guest that I met at Folk Canada. Yes, Folk Canada, it's the place to be, folks. You gotta go. And this young lady comes to us from the Toronto area, I believe, and it is Kate Gillespie. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
How's things?
Very good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So, you were one of those kids that went to an arts high school, I guess.
I was. I was indeed.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So, what's it like compared to like a regular high school?
So I went to an arts high school in downtown Toronto. It was right in the middle of downtown. It was right outside of a subway station. So everybody came from all over the city, even some just outside of Toronto too. So, it was a nice way to get outside of your neighborhood and meet all kinds of creative people, even though, you're like 14 when you go into it.
Yeah, right.
It was honestly a great experience. I know high school is rough for a lot of people, but for me personally at that particular school, it was awesome. Like we had great teachers. I was super into it. I even took a fifth year by choice, just to be with my friends. And then at that point, all the more boring per se classes are done. So you can just take arts classes for that year. And it was awesome. Yeah.
That's it. Now tell me, we all have to ask because I come from when I remember when the movie Fame came out. So anything close? No? Yes? Something like that? Jams in the cafeteria?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay. Like with the theater kids.
Okay, I got you.
That kind of energy. Yeah.
So with you going to a musical high school, I guess you must be a multi-instrumentalist? I don't know how.
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. I went for, I guess every student had to pick they had to go for their primary art form, and mine was vocal music.
Cool.
But I learned guitar and piano and then music theory outside of school, like extracurricularly throughout that time.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. I'm always curious about this because we have a grandson that's pretty musical. This guy.
Oh yeah.
4 years old and he's putting on shows in daycare and
fun.
stages and singing "I'm Still Standing" and
wow,
and "We Will Rock You." So we would all love to see him go to a school like that.
Yeah.
That's why I ask my guests who've been to those schools. I want to get the inside track.
Oh, I have good things to say about it.
That's good. Good. Now.
Yeah.
Kate, it said in your bio that you've been splitting your time between Toronto and Nashville for a bit. Is that still going on for you?
So that hasn't been the case for the last year.
Okay.
I initially moved to Nashville right after high school, right after my fifth year. When I was 18, I guess I turned 19 right after I moved there. Sure. And I went to a music university, or like I went for a music degree.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so the degree was vocal commercial music, aka contemporary music, with an emphasis in songwriting. So it's essentially like a singer-songwriter degree.
What kind of school do you get that kind of a degree from?
Yeah, I guess Belmont University in Nashville.
Belmont, I thought that might have been it. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a strange school, and I can get more into that if you like. But so I went there for 4 years, and then had been on a handful of different visas afterwards. So I was there for about 10 years total. And then last year I just moved back to Toronto because my visa expired. And then I thought, well, I'll wait to see what happens in November with the election to see if I want to renew it or not, renew my visa. And so I decided not to renew my visa. But it was a solid 10 years that I was there, like my whole adult life, basically.
Yeah. this whole Nashville, I know a few folks actually from this area that live down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They were when I had a photography studio. There, a couple of them were clients. One guy played in the band with my wife.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I think he's got and that's the one thing I notice is that anybody new who goes to Nashville, one of the first gigs or jobs that they get is like this other one guy too. I remember doing the photos from his first promo photos for his first band. How's that?
Oh yeah.
And he's down there now, but he got like a regular gig, a house gig at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge.
Oh, nice.
And then
Yeah.
I got another guy, Shane. He's a stand-up bass player. He plays one made out of a gas tank.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, and he made one out of a Stanley Cup too.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Cool.
And he plays down there, and I can't remember the name of the bar where he's at.
Yeah.
So, did you ever get that kind of an experience where you were like the featured entertainer, and that was how you made a couple of bucks, kind of thing?
Yeah, I did sometimes. Those gigs in particular that it sounds like you're talking about are probably on Broadway, or I know that Tootsie's
yeah,
is.
I would say so,
That's a bit of a different scene. Like that's super. There are huge crowds every day. You have to be able to play, every cover song under the sun and whatnot. So that's a little bit less my speed. I think it was interesting actually because I originally moved to Nashville because I loved country music so much, and in high school, well, at least in downtown Toronto, I didn't know any other people that liked country music at the time.
That'd be a tough find, I think.
Yeah, it was. But my dad listened to a lot of old country, so I got into that with him, and then I was listening to new country and whatnot. Had like CMT music videos playing every single morning when I was getting ready for school in high school. I was obsessed with it. And then I got to Nashville and was taking these vocal classes, and some of my teachers, my vocal coaches, were essentially hinting at like, this isn't a great genre for your voice in particular. And then it just so happened that I ended up being exposed to a lot of really good Americana and bluegrass and folk music and ended up liking that a lot more. So I went into that genre. Mm-hmm. So I will say there's not a ton of that genre, the folkier stuff, on Broadway. You've got to, really, really bring it with a lot of energy and whatnot if you're going to play on Broadway. And you literally need a lot of energy because you play for hours to,
Yeah, I know.
A lot of drunk people. But, so I never did the Broadway thing. But, there's no shortage of live music venues in Nashville. So had quite a few places in the neighborhoods that I was living in and whatnot that I would play at regularly.
Mm-hmm. I heard an interview with a guy, and he was he went to Nashville, and he thought, oh, great, I'm going to go to the bar, and I'm going to play my songs, or I'm going to play on the street, or whatever the case may be. He says, nobody wants to hear your stuff. They want to hear the covers.
Right, yeah.
And he was like, what's this all about? I thought they were supporting, original music.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a market for all of it, but the Broadway deal is you get so many bachelor and bachelorette parties coming through that people are looking to drink and
exactly
have a good time for hours to live music, which is cool.
Yeah. So since we're talking about Nashville, and Nashville of course is known for their songwriters on 16th Avenue there, with all I've been to Nashville a lot, by the way.
Oh yeah.
My wife got on that talent show they used to have called Be a Star.
Oh, cool.
It was like the Nashville version of Star Search.
Oh, no way.
I had to go to Nashville once a week for a month.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was great fun. But one of the things we did when we walked out 16th Avenue is we saw all the publishing companies, and every door was locked. You can't go near the place. And what I found out, though, is the way they do songwriting. It's like a 9-to-5er for them.
Totally.
Go in the morning, write, have lunch, come back, write some more, then go to a bar and play some more tunes.
Yeah.
and have some beer. So, are you of a songwriter, having spent some time down there, of that kind of an ilk where you sit down and say, I'm writing today, and that's because it's writing day? Or are you, the one like, it struck me, now I have to write it down? So I don't know, what's your school, what's your regime like? Let's put it that way.
I'd say that I'm more like the latter half. That being said, part of my training in school was to be able to do that kind of co-writing where you sit down and write. So I can do that. I do find that I get a slightly better result when it's just myself and it's not quite as forced.
Right.
But that being said, it's good to be able to pull out, writing with another person in a constrained amount of time, like if I have to. I feel like I can do it when the time comes. Sure. And I do enjoy it. But, there's probably a reason why the songs that I perform are just all the ones that I write myself. I just end up liking them more. Like, I feel like they're a little more suited to me,
I completely get it. And
yeah.
I also think, believe it or not, co-writing sometimes can be a little bit dangerous in today's music world, you know what I mean? When it comes to paperwork and syncing and, it's bad enough everybody's trying to rip us off. We don't need to set ourselves up for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So you've recorded in Nashville, too. You recorded your Star Spangled
yes,
single
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you should. It's too bad Joni Mitchell wasn't still recording because you just give it to her.
Oh God. Well, that's very nice of you.
Not offense with your version, but I hear Joni Mitchell in your voice. By the way.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Oh yeah, big time. You hit a register there in that song. I went, holy jeez, that girl can hit a note. And I said, yeah,
thank you.
I hope she does Joni Mitchell covers.
Oh yeah, yep, I can.
Yeah. So. Recording in Nashville, you had a producer, Dad Kopech.
Yeah.
Have you recorded in Toronto? And I'm looking for what's the diff,
Right.
And
well,
the experience in general.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually haven't recorded much in Toronto.
Okay, cool.
When I first started making my own music in Nashville, it was like halfway through university. I was recording there. However, it was with a producer who's from. I think he was from just outside of Toronto. He's from Ontario. Yeah. So he happened to be Canadian. So, I don't think it would have been that different if the two of us were physically in Toronto. Similar experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing that I find is the community that I had in Nashville, it was so easily accessible to hire somebody to come play on your songs and have them play exactly what you want without even really having to ask them or walk them through it or that kind of thing,
Yeah, exactly.
That was like a luxury. And that being said, I haven't really had the opportunity yet to do a ton of that here. So okay. I don't know. I would imagine it can't be that different.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm still old school because I love the history and stuff like that of country music, and I think I've watched Ken Burns's 10-part series, Country Music, about 5 times so far. And,
nice, yeah.
Yeah, and it just sounds like they have something a little bit different going on. So I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Someone who's experienced that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Is music a full-time gig for you, Kate?
I want it to be a full-time gig for me.
Yeah.
In my head, it feels like it's a full-time gig, but in reality, no, I have to do other things. Okay. Yeah.
Good stuff. So, and doing other things is probably tricky, right? Because you come out of there with like a fine arts degree, like my wife did, a degree in music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who now works at Metro behind the deli counter.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When I was in Nashville, I had a student visa, and then I had other visas that were very specific to performing, so I could make money off of doing that. But really, like, I had to fill in the gaps other ways. So I ended up doing a lot of babysitting and things like that were under the table. So I unintentionally have like 10 years of experience as a nanny and as things like that you can do under the table, which it's all, to me, it's very secondary. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, I guess I have 10 years of experience, so I can get by with it. I can get by with it, but it's always a challenge to not spend too much time doing that.
Yeah.
And it's more of a challenge living in Toronto because, like, my rent is 3 to 4 times as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. In Nashville, it was easier to do that kind of side work for a shorter amount of time and put more time into music. So that's been a challenge this year.
Yeah. So, your Bluebird Cafe, you got to do something I've dreamt of doing.
Oh, yeah.
You played there.
Yeah.
Was that the open mic?
No, it wasn't an open mic. It was a songwriter's night. Yeah,
even better.
Yeah, well, you know what was cool about the university that I went to? So the songwriting school was on Music Row on 16th Avenue.
Hmm.
And the professors there, I guess they were adjunct professors, they all had real publishing deals. So they were teaching these classes part-time and then they would, work on their songs. Like they had written lots of hits. They were really cool, interesting people, unlike many of the other more formal professors. They were very much, this was like a side gig. This was what my equivalent of nannying is, but they would teach this class.
It's all good.
Yeah, so I had a teacher named Liz Rose who invited me to play there one night. Every now and again, she'd have a student or a former student play because she was asked to play there quite a bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I think from nervousness I'd shake myself to pieces almost. Just
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a packed house, that's for sure.
Isn't that the place to play though, eh? Where you get rapped on the knuckles if the audience is too noisy during the song.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh my God. If one could only have that kind of courtesy wherever we went.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
That kind of stuff. What's any tour plans, Kate, that you want to hit the road a little bit or short distance? What's going on?
Yeah, for now, I just have some shows in Toronto booked. So I'm looking to book a tour this summer. So that's kind of my next project, maybe spring, summer.
Gotcha.
But at the current moment, throughout the winter and whatnot, I just have a few shows in Toronto here and there. I have a So Far Sound show. I'm playing a Writers Round this Sunday at the Transac with Philip Von Nesch, who I met at Folk Canada, actually.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, I know. It's nice. Some of those connections have definitely lasted longer than the conference.
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm losing my place here.
it's
My
okay.
problem is when I make notes, I can't read my own bloody handwriting after.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
when you do perform, Kate, do you have a band, or are you just you and the guitar so far?
Yeah, lately, since I moved back to Toronto, it's mostly been just me and my guitar. In Nashville, I played with more people because all of my close circle of friends were all musicians. So, and even like roommates, people that I lived with and whatnot. So easy to call on somebody to step in and play a gig with you and that sort of thing. And in Toronto, I haven't quite found that same community, that same kind of crew of people that are just so music obsessed that it's all they're really doing and thinking about all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't quite found those people in Toronto yet. And, I'm sure that they exist. I might not have met them yet. And I think part of it also has to do with cost of living. You don't have the option as much to just hang out and play a bunch of shows, because you have to go to work and make real money.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, in Toronto, I've just been doing it more solo, but I would love to play with a band.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, looking for music community, and there's nothing up here either. I mean, yeah, we have guys who play, but everybody plays covers. There's the odd one writing stuff, but nobody plays original music around here for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you, though, that Ottawa Valley area, having had that coming from the conference, and then I've interviewed quite a few folks from that area, and holy cow.
Oh, yeah?
Those guys have community like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, God, yeah. Almonte and Smith Falls and Almont, and Carlton Place. And oh, yeah. I mean, you can do a tour within 2 hours and probably play 10 places.
Right. Well, yeah, I met a lot of people from St. Catharines in the Niagara region. They seem to have an amazing community.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Well, I think it helps sometimes for it to be a little bit smaller in that sense. Like maybe in comparison to Toronto.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're talking about communities and what, Toronto's obviously too big because the community gets lost.
Yeah.
And then where I am, okay, we're 85,000 people plus outlying communities, but it's not too small and it's not big enough to do anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's always that. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
So I guess, Kate, when you said to your parents, "Hey, I'm going to chase music for my career," they obviously must have been supportive, or they wouldn't let you go to an arts high school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There was that. And then I think, when you're 13 and you're saying it, it's one thing. I think when you're 17 and you're about to go to university in Nashville, that's a whole other thing,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Even just the prices of American schools are nothing like Canadian schools. So that, I think, threw my parents for a loop, but they were obviously really supportive, which was amazing. But yeah, I was really dead set on it, dead set on moving to Nashville by the time I was in high school. I didn't apply to any other schools. I just applied to that one and thought that's where I'm going. No questions asked.
So they weren't keen on you moving to go to school there.
No, they were. They were
Oh, they were?
supportive. I think it was, it was a big move, maybe kind of daunting, but they were definitely supportive. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, good stuff. Kate, the 21st century music business is loaded with challenges. Mm-hmm. We all have individual ones, and sometimes we have common ones. And the common ones right now are the crap that we're getting with streaming. But I mean, there's girls like you who have 3 million streams. I only dream about stuff like that. And what is some of the biggest challenges? And I guess you're facing some brand new ones now that you've brought yourself back to Canada again.
Yeah.
So what are you facing right now that's really kind of a tough nut to crack?
I think it's being back in a city where I know a lot of people, but I don't know a lot of people in the music industry. I find that the Canadian music industry, not always, but can be a little harder to crack. Whereas I think in Nashville, at least, one of the things about it that can be great is that everybody's doing the same thing. So you might think that would make it more competitive, but it actually seems to make it less competitive because,
Yes.
Everyone that you meet is doing music. You're going to waste your time or have a headache if you're bothered by other people's success. Like there's no point in being there if that's how you're going to feel,
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I feel like it's a little harder to break into certain groups here. So I think the networking, if you will, has been more difficult here. And maybe it's also like I just turned 30 and I know that's not old or anything, but it felt when you're in a school or an institution or whatever and everybody's trying to meet people and whatnot, that feels different than when you are 30 or in your 30s. And a lot of people are at least settled into their lives. Like they found the job that they want to do and they don't want to go out every night or go to shows every night and whatnot. Like it's just a different social circle than I had been in for the last 10 years or so. Yeah. So I don't know if you could even call that maybe an industry challenge, more so just a personal challenge, a location-based challenge.
Yeah. But you know what? That's a challenge I've heard before. So it's not just one. It's one that works for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a tough go, and I mean, right now we're fighting a lot of stuff. We're fighting, streaming, and we're fighting all kinds of things, and I've decided I'm moving. I'm going to do some advocacy work. I want to do some work with Folk Canada and the Music Managers Forum and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's another great place to try to help out and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, what's next, Kate? What are you working on? What are we going to be surprised in 2026 about with Kate Gillespie?
Yeah, so I have some new music coming in 2026. I'm working on a full-length album right now.
Okay.
I have bits and pieces of it done, or rather, some songs done, some songs not done. And it's a mix of things that were produced in Nashville and then things that were produced and recorded in Vancouver, actually.
Wow.
A couple of years ago, I spent a lot of time writing with people in Vancouver. Met some awesome people there. So it's a blend of the two producers and whatnot. And I'm revamping a couple of songs that were never released, but that I did record a few years ago during the pandemic and whatnot, and trying to put it together into a cohesive project. So awesome. I'll have quite a few singles coming, and then a full-length album toward maybe the latter half of next year. But a few singles will be coming out this spring and summer.
Outstanding. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm, like I said, I was thrilled I got to meet you. And by the way, when you wear glasses,
Yeah, you too.
You're like Clark Kent. You put glasses on, you look like a different person.
That's what I always think about myself. I always think if I go out without glasses, people aren't going to be able to recognize me.
I got to tell you, I don't think, I might walk by you at first. And I might go, was that me? No glasses.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I believe it. I won't take offense if I pass by you one day.
Yeah, there you go. I got a buddy like that too. He puts his glasses on. I was like, whoop, where'd he go?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Clark Kent.
Well, that's funny.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear you got stuff on the go. Kate, I want you to tell the folks where they can find you and your stuff and your socials and your music and all that. Tell them where to go.
Sure. So everything is under my name, which is just Kate Gillespie. On Instagram, it's Kate Gillespie, just with the P, not the IE. I've omitted the IE. And everything else is just Kate Gillespie. So on Spotify, Apple Music, etc., all of those platforms, you can find my music there.
Cool. Yeah, do check her out, folks. You're going to get some Joni Mitchell vibes on that.
Oh, thank you.
Stuff. Yeah, and that's what I said. Where's that voice coming from? And then I went, oh, of course.
That's awesome. That's a great thing to hear.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Thanks.
Kate, thank you once again for joining me. And
thank you.
We wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was great to talk to you again.
Same here. Take care.
Yeah, you too.